I would like to welcome everybody, and I would like to call to order the Tuesday, June 24th, 2021 Columbia Heights Public Schools Independent School District 13 School Board meeting. If you are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks again so much for joining us tonight. If you're watching on Zoom, we're glad you can join us. I'm going to read a brief statement here before we get going. It says this. Due to the current federal and state emergency declarations, the Minnesota directive to residents to stay at home and guidance about limiting person-to-person contact due to the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, this meeting of the Columbia Heights Public School Board is being conducted in accordance with Minnesota statutes 13D.021, meetings by telephone or other electronic means. School board members are reminded to mute their microphone or phone when they are not speaking. School board members wishing to speak should raise their hand and then wait to be recognized by the chair. The chair will determine the order in which board members wishing to speak will be recognized. When recognized, the board member should unmute the microphone or phone, speak, and then mute their device. All votes will be conducted via roll call. Each school board member should wait until their name is called before voting. This meeting is being recorded, and access to this recording will be made available on the school district's website as soon as reasonably possible. Laura, would you mind doing a roll call, please?
Granlund,
Here.
Mueller,
Here.
Lewis,
Here.
Samurai,
Here.
Severson,
Here.
Palmer, here, and Superintendent Stenbeck.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. Our mission statement is creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong, all succeed. Our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. We'll move on to the agenda approval, adjustments, and announcements, and correspondent, and we'll start with the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
That's Laura, great. Second?
Second.
We'll go Lorian. Sorry, Molly, she beat you to it. Any discussion on that? I have to watch for my electronic hand raises too. All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Grandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
Great, motion carries. We will move on to the announcements. On July 16th, Friday at 5:30, there will be a school board training via electronic means. On July 20th, which is a Tuesday at 4 p.m., there'll be a regular school board meeting here in the community rooms. On August 10th, which is also a Tuesday, here at 7 p.m., there'll be a regular school board meeting here in the community room. On August 17th, which is a Tuesday at 5:30 p.m., there'll be a school board work session, also here in the community room. And finally, on August 24th, which is a Tuesday at 7 p.m., there will be a regular school board meeting here in the community room. All right, correspondence. Superintendent Stenbeck, do we have any correspondence this week?
Madam Chair, there's no correspondence at this time.
All right. We'll move on to communications to the board, and we'll start with citizens and employee representatives. At this time, any citizen or employee may briefly address the school board. The board will listen to the brief remarks, ask clarifying questions, and if desired, request that the administration follow up. The board will not take action at this meeting on requests presented at this time. And seeing no one here, we will keep right on moving. And we will move on to the consent agenda, which only contains one item, the personnel report. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Molly.
Thanks, Molly. Second?
Second.
Second, Laura. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All right, roll call vote, please.
Grandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, thanks. Motion carries. We'll move on to the acknowledgements of contributions. Hold on, I need to open my packet here. I guess I can probably do it this way. I'm forgetting to click. Sorry, Don. Move on to the acknowledgements of contributions, which is on page 5. Hold on one second, sorry. For those of you watching at home, I got in a bike accident and hurt my shoulder.
Can I help you?
No, it looks worse than it is.
Okay.
All right, thank you again for putting up with me. Acknowledgements of contributions resolution. I'll read it and then I'll ask for a motion. Whereas Minnesota statute 123B.02 permits school boards to receive for the benefit of the district bequests, donations, or gifts for any proper purpose and apply the same to the purpose designated. On that behalf, the board may act as trustee of any trust created for the benefit of the district and for the benefit of the peoples thereof. Therefore, be it resolved by the School Board of Columbia Heights Public Schools, Independent School District Number 13, that the school board accepts with appreciation the contributions detailed in the background in the amount of $77,590. The following donations were made to the Columbia Heights High School Scholarship Fund, and these are monetary donations. H.G. Clay Foundation, $5,000. Jane Halleck, $300. Pamela Zimba, $400. Elaine Yost, $300. John Rockwell, $250. Peter Harilla, $250. Italian American Club Foundation, Inc., $70,000. Pamela and John Schwint, $50. And Trust of Alvin J. at $1,000. Donation, and then there's a value in kind. Donation of sweaters and coats were made to Valley View Elementary by Joanne Kiwat for student needs, an estimated value of $40. Total fiscal year 2020-2021 monetary contributions to date, $205,114.60. Wow. Can I get a motion to move that forward, please?
So moved.
It's Lorian. Second?
Mary, second.
Thank you, Mary. Any discussion on that? Well, like always, I would just, again, thank our community. It doesn't get old reading these, that's for sure. I couldn't be thankful enough, and I'm very thankful for all the people from both inside and outside our community who so generously give their time, their talents, and their money to the students in this school district. It's a huge blessing to have that feeling that our community is there with us in all of this. Any further discussion? All right, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
Grandland,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, resolution passes. Great. We'll move on to discussions, reports, and information items, and we'll start with reports from members of the board, and this time we'll start with Lorian.
All right. Since our last meeting, I believe graduation happened, right? Since our last meeting. So I was honored to attend our class of 2021 graduation, and kudos to all of our students and to their family and friends who watched graduation. Very hot, but it was amazing to see. It's just truly fantastic, and the students were super excited. So congratulations to them. I also attended a city council meeting to give a report as the liaison to city council. Wanted to bring back, this is Jamboree weekend with the parade on Friday and lots happening in the Huset Park area, and fireworks supposedly on Saturday night. Hopefully the fire warnings are lifted for that. And so lots to do for Jamboree. I also attended the work session, a chair meeting prior to the work session last week. I had a conversation with member Lewis and member Granlund, and the chair meeting prior to this meeting.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll move on to Laura.
Well, at graduation, it's always such an amazing experience. So I did attend that as well. It seemed so much shorter. I mean, it was definitely shorter this year because everybody just moving everything along, but it was just so amazing to actually be, face to face and see the joy and all this hard work that our students have to be able to see them walk across that stage and get their diploma. It just an amazing experience as always. It's literally my favorite time of year. I also had attended the work session last week and had conversations with constituents. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to Molly.
Thank you, Natty. Like everyone else, I also attended graduation, and I think it was just a little bit different this year, kind of almost bittersweet for some of us that missed out on last year's, but also just that being in person. I think it was just viewed a little bit differently, and I think it was fun to see the students appreciate just being together and celebrating them. It was really well done, and I do think yes, it was a little bit rushed, but I was glad that everyone, for the most part, I think everyone stayed safe. And it was done really well. So thank you to everyone that did that and put in a lot of work for it. I also attended the work session last week, and as Member Mueller stated, we had a conversation as well. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Molly. How about Mary?
Sure. So I was thrilled to be able to attend graduation. It was wonderful to be able to see everybody and celebrate, the students and the families and all the hard work that they put in, and also see the staff. That was pretty fantastic to be able to experience that for the first time as a school board member. I also attended last week's work session. I connected with some school board members from neighboring districts. I, talked with Vice Chair Mueller and spoke with families, students, and staff. I think the general consensus was feeling of relief to be done with the school year, along with feelings of worry and hope for next year. So it was nice to be able to connect with everyone.
All right, thanks, Mary. Paula.
All right. So congratulations to all the graduates. I was not able to attend graduation because of unexpected illness. So that was a first for not being able to attend when it was actually on. But anyway, congratulations to everybody who graduated. And I attended the work session last week and had some conversations with constituents.
All right. And that leaves me. I also attended graduation, and that was a blast. It's great to see. And then I thought the staff did a fabulous job of managing the heat, made some accommodations in terms of the length of the ceremony without, I don't think, taking away from the experience for the student. I think they did a careful balance and appreciated all the hard work there. I had a chair meeting prior to our work session last week. I had the work session, and I think we were all present, but no one has mentioned it, at the special called meeting that immediately followed. Those are separate items just for the record. And then I attended the chair meeting just prior to this meeting, and just was able to have conversations with different stakeholders in the district and appreciated hearing their ideas and what they had to say. I think that concludes reports from members of the board. I'm counting names. I got 6. All right, we'll move on to superintendent report.
Okay, I agree with the board members that graduation was a great commencement ceremony, and I thank all of those who worked to plan and prepare for the event. Last week, we wrapped up the school year with a 2-day admin retreat in which the team received training on leading and coaching professional learning communities from a national trainer. The group also toured North Park School for Innovation and participated in 3 learning stations that centered on STEM and sustainability initiatives taking place at that school. So it was a fun event with a lot of learning. This week, Summer Encore started at Valley View Columbia Academy, and also summer sports samplers and other learning opportunities for students. Even though the school year ended, there's actually a lot happening. The buildings are busy right now. And as mentioned previously, it's Jamboree Week, so I will be participating in the parade on Friday and very much looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you, Superintendent Stenvick. We will move on to the Placement Center report, and Executive Director Niembwe will be given that.
Can you see my screen?
We can, thank you.
Excellent. Chair Severson, Superintendent Stenvick, and members of the board, I'm here tonight to present to you a final report on the Placement Center for the school year 2020-2021. Our mission, Columbia Public Schools, creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner. All belong and all succeed. All the core values are represented tonight in my presentation, because I don't see how a placement center, a welcome center cannot encompass all of our values. This is an informational update, and I will be giving you an overview of our placement center, which gives you data about the assessments that we do for newcomers, to intake process, and that we welcome families with open arm and be able to enroll them in our school district all the way up to when we enroll them so that they can start taking classes. So the Placement Center is an environment that collaborates with more than one department. As you can see, we have a cultural liaison who does all our intake and assist families, whether it's with answering questions or enrolling them in our school district. When we have new families, sometimes the nurses attend to them to be able to ask questions or answer questions for them. We have an English language learner coordinator who does assessment, and sometimes the special education coordinator intervene to be able to ask questions so that we have all the documentation that we need. And of course, Luin is our cultural liaison who also work with our early childhood as well as other clerical staff in the district. In terms of new enrollment in our district, this is an overview of the data. To give you some context, as you paid attention to the enrollment trend, we were down in almost all categories. For example, in 2019-20, in kindergarten, we had 138 students. And you can see in 2020-21, there is 92. And if you just look at sixth grade, this year we had 46 new students, but last year we had 85 students. And in ninth grade, here we have 78 students for this year. Last year we had about 122. So that gives you a context of how the numbers were low, and it's visible across the grades. And this is the same information, just in a graph form. What is perhaps an highlight here is that while we're down in numbers, Valley View continued to increase the number of new students in the school. And this is looking at Columbia Academy, just a grade by grade breakdown of the students that were the new students enrolled. And at the high school was the same. You can see that 78 number, which I already described to you, that it was 122 in the past year. You know, one of the trends that we continue to look at is our diversity in the district. And the graph in front of you here show you the breakdown of all the ethnicities and race represented in our district. And our African American continue to lead in terms of new students, 316, and our Latino students about 300. And in looking at the demographic data, it is also low compared to the graph that we had last year. And so these numbers are complementary across the board, no matter how you look at them. In terms of new students, last year, it was about 463 for our Hispanic students, and it was about 502 for our African American students. And so you compare that to 300 and 316. This is our enrollment broken down by new students, but resident versus open enrolled students. The majority of our students are resident students, as you can see with the blue line. This is a breakdown by language in our district. These numbers have, so the numbers have fluctuated, but the hierarchy of language has remained the same, except with the shaded green, which is Kurdish, is a new one that has popped up. And we used to have Urdu in that location. And so we still have over 30 languages represented in the district, and these are the most frequent one. In the other category, it used to be 43 and now it's 21. So we still maintain a high diversity in our school district. And this is our English language learner population for new students. It's also down compared to last year, but Valley View had a lot more new students who were English language learner. And our special education population is also down compared to last year. And these are the number of new students. So we are in the pandemic, and when I was looking at the data, it was actually funny when I looked at this year's number and realized that it was only about 21 visits. The comparison number for you is 1,479, which were more than 1,479 number of visits we had last year. And so this should not be a surprise to all of us because we were not allowing families to come in. And that's why we only had 21 visits that were clocked in. And those 21 visits are when we did the intake, we did in-person intake because it was difficult to do English language learners assessment remotely. And then some of the other ones were special education screenings that were done in person as well. During the pandemic, as I said, we continued to enroll families, but we used different processes. We had a locked in at the front desk, but when that door was open, parents will come in, grab a packet, go, bring it back, drop it at the front desk, and we were able to complete all the enrollment packet in that regard. In the middle of this year, we started piloting our new system for online registration. And so now families have the option to enroll their families online. In the past, it used to be a packet, and we had another version of a packet that was electronic, but now they can do everything online, and we are able to process that. In terms of in-person contact, the services are continuing to be offered at the window. Parents who choose to drop their packets without wanting to talk to anybody, they have that option. We maintain all physical distancing during that enrollment process, even when we were attending to families at the window. And as I said, the EL screening occurred in person. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Director Niembwe. Any questions? I see Mary raised her hand.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the transparency around all of that information. I think it's pretty fantastic to have that available, not only to the board, but also to the community. One thing I was curious about is looking back at the new students in the district and looking at those numbers, I'm wondering how does that compare with other similarly sized districts in terms of their enrollment? Do we know what that looks like or not?
No, I don't have a good pulse on that, but we could look into it and get back. What we do know is that there was a decrease across the board because many families chose to keep their children at home. But you also had another decrease because the private school were in person. Some families chose to go to the private school. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was meeting with a friend who works in a private school, and he said they saw a great enrollment in their district. Um, but we could look into that and provide you some comparison data.
That would be helpful. Thank you. Because I'm curious because I don't think that this is a problem just for our district. And I think it's important to sort of get that information out there that, yep, that looks, pretty rough. And also, it's like that a lot of other places too. So it's not unique to us. I think that was my hope for that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Or questions? All right, I don't see any more hands, so thank you, Director Nyambwe.
You're welcome.
All right, we will move on to the school district highlights from a one-year perspective with Directors Tuckrell and Stunkel.
Good evening, Chair Severson, members of the board, Superintendent Stenbeck. I'm here with the Director of Communications and Community Education, Kristen Stunkel, to give a little review of our year together. Our mission in Columbia Heights Public Schools of creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner, all belong, all succeed. And as we reflect on the year, we really did encompass every core value. We saw them in multiple ways, multiple times throughout the year. And this is an informational update and no governance question to follow. And with that, we'd like to share a video, and I'm going to stop sharing and have Director Stunkel share a little reflection about the year as Superintendent Stenbeck gets the video ready.
Chair Severson, members of the board, Superintendent Stenbeck, before we show this district highlight video, we'd like to say thank you to Chair Severson, to all of the members of the board for your support and your guidance during this past school year. We'd also like to publicly acknowledge the tremendous leadership that Superintendent Stenbeck has provided during this first year of superintendency. Superintendent Stenbeck's collaborative, transparent, caring, and confident approach has enabled us to not only navigate the ever-changing situation and guidance, but to create engaging initiatives such as Highlanders Have Heart and the support for other initiatives in the district, such as Healthy Highlanders and Heights from Home. This video is a small token of gratitude and of Heights pride for all of our students, families, community, and staff. We hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. And with that, we want to open it up to any questions or comments.
Any questions or comments out there?
This is Molly.
Thanks, Molly.
Well done. Thank you for that. It was nice to see.
All right, Mary, I saw your virtual hand.
Who's cutting onions in here? Like, that's my question. That was beautiful, and we have so much to be proud of in our district, not only our students, but our staff and leadership. And this was really a wonderful way to commemorate and to pause and to recognize all of the things that we accomplished, even in the middle of a pandemic. So thank you so much for that. And also stop cutting onions.
Well, that's why I couldn't say, honestly, I had to compile myself there
Oh,
for
yes.
a minute.
Lorian has a big pile of onions in front of her.
Ooh.
You can't see her, but
Yeah, but Natty can. Yeah, just what Mary said, thank you. And I'm so proud of just everybody. There are a lot of opportunities for our students, and the staff and the teams that put that together, that, not the video, but that made those opportunities possible. No one gave up. Everybody, it's like the rules of the game changed, and instead of taking your toys and going home, everybody said, okay, let's play the game with the new rules. And I just really appreciate all the efforts that people put in, and this video was absolutely amazing. So thank you.
Laura, I see your virtual hand.
Yeah, it took me a minute to find it. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. And you know, and the most fun thing about it was going, oh wow, I remember that all that happened in just 1 year. And I mean, it just the constant innovation, you know, and adjusting. I couldn't agree more with what Lorian had said there, with, you know, just making it work and just tackling every issue and surpassing it. I see so much to be proud of. And thank you so much for all the hard work and dedication. And the beautiful video is just the cherry on top of the cake. Thank you.
All right, Hala, also with the virtual hand.
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you for such a beautiful video. It just brings it all together. So last year when the pandemic started, I remember talking about and thinking about how this is going to be an opportunity for us to do great things in completely different ways. And it was. But this past year, just was a whole other thing. It was swinging between multiple different ways of doing things. And it's so hard to believe that all that happened in 1 year. So I just want to commend everyone in the district who is involved in doing all the really hard work, and all the students for going along with it and riding with it, and the teachers and the rest of the staff who kept on going even when it was really hard. Nobody was trained to do this. So it was just a really, really big deal. And I just want to commend everybody for all the wonderful, amazing work. And a lot of districts did not do this well. This district really did an amazing job, and I'm so proud to be part of it.
Yeah, I agree. I just echo everything Hala said. And I look right here on the wall behind me. It says our core values of community excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. And obviously see all of those in our response to a wild year, and not just a pandemic, on so many other fronts, so many things changing, and culture and different things moving. I'm proud of our staff and our students, especially in those areas of courage and innovation, because sometimes it's hard to lead courageously and it's hard to follow boldly and innovate and do those things if you don't have that courage and you don't have that innovative spirit. That's really, really tough. Molly, I see your hand there.
Yeah, sorry, you guys. So I spoke earlier just because it was an awkward silence. I will own that. And too quickly. One thing I do want to make note of, you know, we often acknowledge so many of the areas. I know we've tried to give extra, you know, like kudos to some of our other staff, like custodians. We know we're putting in a lot of work, and the child care especially. We've acknowledged them. I think that underneath so many of those highlights in the videos, we cannot emphasize enough our technology department. I think about it from the play to the basketball games, you know, to what the students were able to do for History Day. So many things that happened virtually, and they were really behind the scenes on so much. And so, just a huge thank you to all of them as well.
Yes, agreed. Well, thank you for creating that video and sharing it with us, and I hope the community. I'm assuming the one's going to go out into the world beyond this meeting?
I believe that's the plan.
All right, thank you for that and sharing some of those highlights. I mean, we all know the year was far from perfect, but it is fun to rejoice in what went well and the people who were part of that. So thank you. We will move on to item E, safe return to in-person learning, and that will be with directors Tuckrell, Niembwe, and Hennekins.
I apologize before I realized my video was not on until I stopped sharing, so I apologize for that. I'll blame it on the allergies. How about that?
Yeah, do that. That's great.
Good evening, Chair Severson, members of the board, Superintendent Stenbeck. I'm here tonight with two other directors, Brian Hennekins and Bondo Niembwe, to share about our safe return to in-person learning plan. Our mission in Columbia Heights Public Schools of creating worlds of opportunity for each and every learner, all belong, all succeed. And as we think about this plan, as we move into next school year, we really want to ensure we are encompassing all of our core values and all the different pieces of the plan. This is an informational presentation, so no governance question will follow. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Director Hennekins to share about the ARP funding.
Thank you, Director Tuckrell. So the American Rescue Plan, or ARP funding, was something that has been presented to the board previously in amongst all of the other CARES Act funding grants that we've received. And just to note, again, this is signed into law on March 11th. And the focus of those dollars that we are receiving is, returning to and maintaining a safe in-person learning for all students. So there are requirements with this plan that are new from some of the other other grants that we've received. So updating the district's safe return to in-person learning plan and posting that on our website. Within that plan, we developed our main part of our plan is our Heighten Up, we call it, plan to support the acceleration of student learning and provide mental health supports, increase family engagement, and upgrade facilities. So those are kind of the main components of that Heighten Up plan. And another item different than the rest was including stakeholder input. So we've reached out to many different groups, our finance committee, World's Best Workforce, and we've also, along with posting our plans onto our website, there's a link on there where people could go on and provide feedback to these plans. So of course, our plan, we have to look at a lot of different things as we developed it and as we updated it. So when we originally developed the plan, we were looking at all the guidance, and we continue to look at all the guidance for the executive orders, the MDH, Minnesota Department of Education, MDE, and the Centers for Disease Control, or the CDC, and of course OSHA. So looking at all of those areas to really ensure that we were following rules that we needed to develop our plan of returning to in-person learning. Categories included in this plan, that's Heighten Up plan: face covering, social distancing, hygiene practices, transportation, food services, and facilities, handling suspected or confirmed positive COVID cases, testing, vaccination opportunities, accommodations for students with disabilities, mental health and wellness, coordination with state and local health officials, continuity of services, childcare for critical care workers. So these are all things that we've been doing. This really isn't new information, but as we had to post this updated plan to the site, we just need to make sure that everybody understands all of the components within that plan.
So our ITANAP plan is comprehensive, and we're still developing it. As Director Anakin shared earlier, the 4 component, I'm just going to go a little bit in some details of what that means. So academic acceleration is referred by the Department of Education or other district as addressing learning loss, but we're taking a proactive approach by focusing on assets, and meaning that we're going to accelerate the learning for students. As it was shared earlier by Superintendent Stenvik, a lot of work went into planning summer school by teaching and learning in collaboration with early childhood. And our summer program is off to a good start with some interesting stories that we laugh about. Students from other districts who ended up in our classrooms, and they sat as if they were where they're supposed to be, and they started learning. So it must be that whatever they came to was so welcoming that they felt at home. In addition to that, we're going to have some reading intervention as we go into FY22. And then one of the other undertaking that Teaching and Learning has added to their department is instructional coaches who will work with the previous 2 peer observers to be able to support schools. So there is one instructional coach at each school site. And then as Molly just talked about technology. So we're going to continue to use technology, and the integration will be forthcoming. The other component that is also getting some traction is social, emotional, and mental health support. It's one that we've done a good job, and we will add additional support with psychologists, and there will be more direct student service for social workers to work with children who are experiencing mental health need. And we'll continue to provide support for adults as we did in FY21. And in addition to that, there will be training to maintain those safe spaces where students who are needing mental health support, they can actually have some equipment to work with and be able to do, so that we can meet those needs before we meet all their academic needs. The third area is family engagement. We believe that the school, the teachers alone cannot meet all the needs of the students. But if we can augment and partner with our parents and be able to show them what we do, and they understand that they will support their children along with teachers, and we believe that we will meet our expected academic achievement goals. And so that is very important to us. And then we also added another liaison for Columbia Academy, and we'll be using these funds that have come in to support that one position. We already have support for other positions in the other schools. And then there is the building monitors, which was these were positions that we added using ESSER dollars, and that they will remain in place for the fiscal year 22. The last area is upgrading facilities. While the pandemic is slowly walking away from us, it's important that we maintain our indoor air quality. And so some of the funds will be used to support those initiatives. And Director Anakin mentioned this briefly, but in order to develop this plan, our ITANAP plan, he was able to do several presentations. I know he did the finance committee, and you can see the dates there. We engaged our world best workforce committee, and at each of those meetings, there was an opportunity for the members to use a Padlet and be able to give input by feeding off of each other. And another way to use that was for those who were not there, or if they had new ideas beyond the presentation, they could submit that electronically. And this concludes our Safe Return plan for FY22. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
I have a clarification.
All right, thanks, Lorian, go ahead.
Yeah, just a clarification, I think, to help understand for those who may be watching at home too. This is a requirement that we have this plan, that we present this plan, that we go over this plan, and then post the plan. So I think this isn't the, here's what fall is going to look like plan. This is the kind of, here's the funding that's available, and here's the plan on how we're going to safely return to school. Right? That's a good summary of that.
Yes.
So this plan might not have all the details a parent watching might want to know.
Yeah, I think if somebody saw this on an agenda item, they might be thinking we're talking about what it's going to look like coming back to school in the fall, what their students are going to be doing, what the teachers are going to be doing, what the delivery methods are going to be doing. That's kind of not necessarily what we're doing right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just for people who are watching the meeting, one thing to note is that we continue to be bound by executive orders and the Minnesota legislature. And so as they are hopefully winding down and finalizing before June 30th, the state's budget, that will have implications for us after that. And so I'm sure the Department of Education will process through all of those pieces and then give us the guidance in as timely a manner as possible. Therefore, we can communicate it out.
So more to come.
More to come.
I wanted, like I said, I just wanted to be very clear on what this is and what this isn't in terms of what the presentation is today. I don't want somebody to walk away and be like, well, that didn't tell me what I was looking for. So.
It's the title is what it's called in the federal
Yes.
grant.
Yep. Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or clarifications? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to, thank you. Thank you for your presentation and for all the hard work that goes into that. I know none of this is easy, and we thank you for all the time it takes to continue to go over the guidelines from, it seemed like 45 organizations, and somehow make that into sense of one plan. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move on to action items, and we're going to start with the Minnesota State High School League membership, and we will be presented to by Jake Henderson.
Madam Chair, members of the school board, Superintendent Stenvik, thank you for having me. I am here seeking formal approval by the governing board to renew membership in the Minnesota State High School League for the 2021-2022 school year. It was briefly discussed last meeting, but the Minnesota State High School League is the governing body for 22 sports and 4 activities that we do offer here at Columbia Heights Public Schools. And I believe Chair Severson, you'll be reading, is that correct?
Yep, it is. Thank you. I'm going to read the motion, I'm going to read the resolution, and then I'm going to ask for a motion to move that forward. Resolution for 2021-2022 membership in the Minnesota State High School League. Resolved that the governing board of the school district number 13, County of Anoka, State of Minnesota, delegates the control, supervision, and regulation of interscholastic athletics and fine arts events referred to in Minnesota Statute Section 128C.01 to the Minnesota State High School League, and so hereby certifies to the State Commissioner of Education as provided for by Minnesota statute. Further resolved that Columbia Heights High School is authorized by this, the governing board of said school district to 1, renew its membership in the Minnesota State High School League, and 2, participate in the approved inter-school activities sponsored by said league and its various subdivisions. Further resolved that this governing board hereby adopts the Constitution, bylaws, rules, and regulations of said league and all amendments hereto as the same as are published in the latest edition of the league's official handbook on file at the office of the school district or as appears on the league's website as the minimum standard governing participation in said league-sponsored activities, and that the administration responsibilities for detailing student eligibility or for determining student eligibility and for the supervision of such activities are assigned to the official representative identified by the governing board. Can I get a motion to move that forward?
So moved.
Lorian? Second?
Second, Molly.
Molly, second? Discussion? Once again, this is an annual resolution. Am I correct? We do this every single year? Okay. All right, I don't see any hands, so we'll move on to a roll call vote.
Brandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
the Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, motion carries, or resolution passes, I should say. Thank you, Mr. Henderson, for joining us.
Thank you for your time.
Next item is preliminary budget 2021, 2022, and that will be with Director Hennekens.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. This evening, I have it's my first agenda item, seeking approval of the preliminary budget for fiscal year 22, so school year 2021, 2022. I'm going to share my screen real quick on this one. The budget was presented in detail at the work session, and so the school board are seeking approval for total of all funds, revenues of $62,464,145 and expenditures of $62,559,665. So all total of all funds, we see a slight decrease of just less than $100,000, and that's mainly due to a decrease in community education fund balance and a slight decrease in food service fund balance.
All right. Can we get a motion to move forward? Let me read it one more time, sorry. The motion to approve the preliminary 21-2022 budget.
So moved, Laura.
Laura, thank you. Second?
Second, Hala.
Second, Hala. Any discussion on the budget? Lorian?
Just one question, that the budget as proposed still meets the board's fund balance policy?
Good question.
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Though with this budget, we are inching closer to the bottom of the fund balance policy of 6 to 12%, but we are still within the fund balance policy.
Thank you.
Good question. Thanks for asking that. Any other questions? All right, roll call vote, please.
Brandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to the workers' compensation and insurance renewal, and that's also Director Hennekens.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. This evening, my next agenda item seeking approval for renewal of our workman's compensation insurance through United Heartland. Again, this was presented at a previous school board meeting in detail, and this year's rates are for FY22. Our rates are actually at a 5% decrease, which is great news. And that's really driven by our decrease in claims. So over the last 3-year average. So this evening, seeking approval to renew that.
All right, so the motion would be to approve the workers' compensation insurance. Can I get a, yep, Lorian, were you gonna?
Oh, did we already
Oh.
motion to approve that?
I don't think so. I think Brian just introduced it, and we don't have an emotion yet. Don will be so proud of me for knowing that.
I was making a motion to approve.
Oh, you're making a motion?
Yes.
Lorian's making a motion. All right, sorry. All right,
I'll second that.
thanks, Laura. All right, now we can discuss workers' compensation insurance renewal.
I have a question.
Okay, Lorian, great.
Director Hennekins, does work-related COVID exposure claims impact our workers' compensation at all?
It obviously has the potential to. For our workman's comp insurance renewal, we're not seeing that at this point because it's looking back in time. And it's factoring that completely on claims that we've had in the past over a 3-year average, plus our existing or our upcoming staff expenses, salaries. So those are the main factors it's looking at. So it hasn't been a factor yet for this. If we do see those in the future, we will definitely factor our workman's comp in the future.
Thank you.
More questions? All right, hearing none, we'll go for a roll call vote, please.
Grandland,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, motion carries, great. And we'll move on to the transportation agreement amendment, and that is also Director Hennekins. Wow, you've got a lot in a row here, Director Hennekins. I just glanced down, make sure you take a drink of water in there.
Trying to. Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. So before you, this next agenda item is we're seeking approval to authorize the superintendent to sign an amendment to our student transportation agreement. Our current transportation contractor, Monarch, we've been under agreement with them for the past 2 years. And as discussed in further detail at the previous school board meeting, this is given the climate of that the pandemic has created. There's a lot of areas that have struggled. Transportation is one of them, and we've been very happy with Monarch as a transportation service provider so far, and we wanted to make sure that we lock in and continue working with Monarch for the next 2 years, as allowed by our original contract that was approved by the school board, a 2-year extension. And it's, again, an administration seeking authority to sign that contract to move forward for the next 2 years.
All right, any questions?
I can move that motion forward.
All right. Oh, yeah, thank you, Laura. Motion from Laura, thank you. Second from Hala, thank you. Now we can discuss. All right, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Grandland,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll move on to the long-term facility maintenance plan. Again, Director Hennekins.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. Again, as presented at a previous school board meeting in further detail, we have our district 10-year long-term facility maintenance plan. It's required for us to have board approval on this plan each year in June to receive our long-term facility maintenance dollars for the deferred maintenance items in the district. So again, seeking approval for that long-term facilities plan so that we may submit that to the state and receive those revenues.
All right, ask for a motion to approve the district's long-term facilities maintenance plan.
So moved.
Mary, was that you, Mary?
Yeah.
All right, second?
Second.
I can second.
Thanks, Hala. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will take a roll call vote.
Grandland,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right. Motion carries. And then we will move on to the Northeast Metro 916 Long-Term Facility Maintenance Plan Resolution.
Thank you, Chair Severson, members of the board, and Superintendent Stenbeck. I think this is the last item I have tonight. The 916 Long-Term Facilities Maintenance Plan. 916 is our intermediate district that we're a member of, and they don't have the authority to levy for deferred maintenance dollars or long-term facility maintenance dollars, so that's done through the member districts. So each member district, as presented at a previous board meeting, has a portion of that that they levy for. So this evening, again, seeking approval to approve that resolution. And our portion of that, for note, is estimate at $4,544.11.
All right, I'm going to read that resolution and then I'll ask for a motion. Resolution approving Northeast Metropolitan Intermediate School District Number 916's long-term facilities maintenance budget and authorizing the inclusion of proportionate share of those projects in the district's application for long-term facility maintenance revenue. Be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District Number 13, State of Minnesota as follows. 1. The School Board of Northeast Metropolitan Intermediate School District Number 916 has approved a long-term facility maintenance budget for its facilities for the 2022 and 2023 school year. Pay 2022 levy in the amount of $142,000. The various components of this program budget are attached in Exhibit A hereto and are incorporated herein by reference. Said budget is hereby approved. 2. Minnesota Statute Section 123B.53 Subdivision 1 as amended provides that if an intermediate school district's budget is approved by the school boards of each of the intermediate school district's member school districts, each member district may include its proportionate share of the costs in the intermediate school district's program in its long-term facility maintenance revenue application. 3. The proportionate share of the cost of the intermediate school district's long-term facilities maintenance program for each member school district to be included in its application shall be determined by utilizing a blended rate where half of the rate is determined by multiplying the total cost of the intermediate school district's long-term facility maintenance times the ratio of the member school district's net tax capacity to the total net tax capacity of the intermediate school district, and half of the rate is determined by multiplying the total cost of the intermediate school district's long-term facility maintenance times the ratio of AMD utilization by district to the total ADM utilization. The inclusion of this proportionate share of the school district's long-term facilities maintenance revenue application for fiscal year 2022 is hereby approved, subject to approval by the Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Education. 4, upon receipt of the proportionate share of long-term facility maintenance revenue attributable to the intermediate school district program, the district shall promptly pay to the intermediate school district the applicable aid or levy proceeds. It's a lot of words. Can I get a motion to move that forward?
So moved, Molly.
Molly, second?
Second,
Second,
Laura.
Laura? Discussion. All right, roll call vote, please.
Grandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, resolution passes. The next one is me. Thank you, Brian, for all of those. The Minnesota School Board Association membership, and that's me. I'm going to ask that we approve the, hold on, I got a flip in my book, which is a process, as you guys recently witnessed. All right, background. MSBA membership dues for the Columbia Heights Public School District for the 2021-2022 school year is $8,753, and dues for our district are based on 3,081.67 average daily membership of students served for the fiscal year ended June June 30th, 2020, as provided by the Minnesota Department of Education. Our membership dues for 2021 were $8,666. The board book subscription is now part of our membership invoice, and the amount for 2021, 2022 is $2,100, and our prorated portion for the 2020-21 school year was $1,225. The board will be presented, and that's now, with a recommendation to renew the district's subscription to the MSBA policy service. This is an important service for the Columbia Heights School District, as policy revisions keep the district in compliance with current law. So, I'm asking for a motion to pay the fee for the MSBA policy service renewal and, to renew the district's membership in the Minnesota School Board Association for the 2021-2022 school year, and to authorize payment of dues in the amount of $8,753, to authorize the payment of board book subscription of $2,100, and to authorize payment of $730 to renew our policy services for the period of the next year, July to June, for a total of $11,583. A motion on that one?
So moved.
Thanks, Lorian.
Second, Hala.
Second, Hala. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote.
Grandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, motion carries. We'll move on to our last action item of the night. It's the designation of identified official with the authority for the MDA External User Access Recertification System Resolution. Could be the longest title I've ever read. I'm moving into this, and I will turn it over to the one and only Don Hoyam.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Stenvik. Tonight, I'm in front of you to ask you to approve the yearly resolution to designate the identified official of authorization with MDE External Users Access System. They are asking that Superintendent Stenvik be the identified Iowa, and then I would act as the to remove and to add names only for Columbia Heights Public Schools.
All right, I am going to read this resolution, and then I'll ask for a motion. Designation of identified official with authority for the MDE External User Access Recertification System Resolution. Whereas the Minnesota Department of Education, MDE, requires that school districts annually designate an identified official with authority to comply with State Access Control Security Standard 1.0, which states that all user access rights to Minnesota state systems must be renewed and recertified at least annually. The identified official with authority will assign job duties and authorize external users access to MDE secure systems for their local education agency. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the director recommends the board authorize Zena Stenvik to act as the identified official with the authority, and Don Hoyam to act as the Iowa to add and remove names only for the Columbia Heights School District, number 13. It says Columbia Heights School District 0013-01. I don't know if that, somehow our designate, is that our designation on it?
Just in this system.
Just in this system?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Motion for that resolution.
So moved, Brandon.
Thanks, Mary. Second?
Molly.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Grandlin,
Aye.
Mueller,
Aye.
Lewis,
Aye.
Samurai,
Aye.
Severson,
Aye.
Palmer, aye.
All right, resolution passes. All right, we'll move on to board topics. I have a few. So I'm just going to start us off, and I hope that there's some good details about the Jamboree and such. I know we've mentioned it a couple times, but first of all, I just want to thank Mike Jessimer, who you can't see, but we can all see. Thank you for so many years of helping us make it through these board meetings. He's one of our behind-the-scenes people. This is his last school board meeting, and we have thank you for setting up our computers and making this run smoothly and putting up with changes that have happened over COVID. Just like Molly thanked all the tech department people, Mike, you're one of those people who has served faithfully and helped us figure out the details of even live broadcasting that people are able to use now. So thank you so much for your years of service here in Columbia Heights. He gave us a big wave. You'll be missed, but good luck in your next endeavor. Secondly, I just want to remind everyone that our next regular school board meeting is July 20th. Is that what we said? Our July 16th school board training can be via electronic means because it is a training. But as of July 20th, unless the governor extends the emergency order, we will be required to meet in person as we have in the past. So just a note on that, make proper accommodations. And then, as you all know, our board on my third one, as you all know, on June 15th, the full board and Superintendent Stenvik met in closed session to review the superintendent's performance goals for 2021 school year. After reviewing what we have recommended to say to the public about that meeting, because it was a closed meeting, we come with a summary statement, and it says this: the superintendent's performance goals for 2020-2021. Goal 1, her goal 1 was to oversee the implementation of the district's communication plan in year 1, the MSBA Standard 3 for communication and community relationship. And as a summary statement, the superintendent effectively carried out the strategies for the first year of the communication plan, which include input from external groups, informing the community as a whole, and advocacy. Goal 2 was to provide leadership to engage with diverse groups of students and families, and that met with MSBA Standard 8, ethical and inclusive leadership. And as a summary statement, the superintendent effectively engaged with stakeholders through a variety of means, including focus groups and equity plan implementation. We just need to state that for the record to let the public know what happened in our closed session for her performance review. Any other board topics?
Just a reminder again, Jamboree this weekend. I know several of us will be in the parade. It's great to be able to do that again. So I hope to see everybody there, and lots of activities. I can't even name them all at Huset Park. So take a look at the website and the promotions, fireworks, and just good times and getting the community together again.
I do hear there's going to be some temporary tattoos available from the school district. So
That's right.
you know, it'll be fun to see people in real life and give out some stickers. I feel like I can use this arm pouch to carry said stickers really conveniently. So, you know, every cloud has a silver lining. I'm going to say it. Any other? Thanks, Mary.
I live for that. It has now become a staple in my home where we will walk around and say any others to each other. So thanks, Pat.
Any others? All right, hearing none, we thank you all for joining us tonight, and we'll see you again on the 20th of July, if you're able to tune in, and we adjourn the meeting at 8:17 p.m.
The most